So I should give a few disclaimers before I start the video. First of all, I am not a doctor, just a teenager who has access to the internet, and something that I didn't mention in my previous video is that my research consists of asking ChatGPT questions, then after it gives me an answer, I go ahead and read the original sources it gets its answers from. Usually they're official websites from some giant science corporations I didn't even know exist, and then I ask additional questions if needed. Of course, I watch also YouTube videos, usually from doctors, although anyone can allege anything, so I'm not saying they're actually doctors or artists, in this case a developer. This guy's video will be in the description because most of what he said will be said in this video in some shape or form. So with that being said, the brightness of your monitor, high contrast between the screen and the room makes your eyes tired. Important factor is that your goal is to make the room and the monitor roughly the same brightness. If there's no other light source other than the monitor, turning it down won't do much since it will lower the brightness of the room also. So you'll want probably a desktop lamp. Just make sure the lamp isn't reflecting on the monitor since that creates big bright spot and it's important for your whole working space to be lit. I personally have two lamps, one close to me lighting most of my desk and another one that I pointed to a wall. The light from the second lamp bouncing off of the wall ensures that everything is lit, not just where the first lamp points, because that's a big bright spot in the dark room. I just searched for a lamp on Pinterest. What is this nonsense I'm looking at? What are these? What is this? Oh, ja som si vyhľadala lampu. Čo je toto? Čo to je? Čo sú to za lampy, halo? Bro. Of course, you can also use LED lights, for example. Another great thing is to use dark mode in programs you use. The main goal is just for these two to have the same amount of brightness. How you achieve it, that I will leave up to you. The general rule of thumb is that your monitor shouldn't be brighter than a piece of white paper in the same lighting. Now, that's for if it's late or even nighttime. For daytime, the same applies, just reversed. It's best if your window isn't behind your screen. Mine is, but I block sunlight with drapes, so that's an easy fix. If that's the case for you, I assume you have drapes, or just like grab a canvas or something and place it up against the window. Just make sure you're not making eye contact with the sun while working. So another thing, fonts. I have recently played a game called The Old City Leviathan. I enjoyed the game. I really like walking simulators, but one thing that really pissed me off about it was that one of the things you're doing in it is you're trying to find Solomon, however his name is said, his notes, and I think those are the prime example of what not to do. First of all, the text is small. Second, I really hate when a bright white font is on top of a dark black background, and the cherry on top is that the text is serif, which is a lot worse in readability, and there's so much of it. That's just one note. There's 7 total notes in this game. I'm not gonna lie, I just gave ChatGPT to summarize them for me because I saw that, tried to read it, and then maybe after the first 3 paragraphs said, hell no, I'm not reading this, I'm not doing this, go to hell. And I do understand that I use white font on top of a pure black background, you know, but my font is not serif, it's quite large, and also there's not a lot of it. It's a few words on the screen as I say them. And again, I enjoyed the game, it's a great game. I'm not sure if I recommend it, it's not for everyone, but I did really enjoy it. It's just that this specific thing made me really angry. So moving on to the distance of your focus, I talked about this in my previous video, but just to summarize, if your eye is focusing on something that is close to you for too long, it's not good. First of all, you shouldn't be too close to your monitor if you have a screen tablet, and also every maybe half an hour you should look at something in the distance. I found different recommendations of the time frame after which you should take a break. ChatGPT said every 20 minutes, my teacher said every 45, I've heard the random guy on the internet say 30, then I found out that the random guy on the internet is not not necessarily the best source. So my advice is just to find the time frame that works for you and ensures your eyes aren't tired or you don't have problem with refocusing when you look at something in distance after work. Now, let's say it's nighttime and you can't really look at something out the window. In that case, just focus on something that is furthest away from you in the room. And also, I know taking breaks hurts deep work, but honestly, the amount of times I've seen people around me check their phone multiple times while working is sad. Even changing your music hurts deep work, and I am guilty of this myself. If you don't do this and I've falsely accused you just now, I apologize, and my argument here is that it's important to do this while the eye is in the development stage, which is roughly until your 20s, and then you should be fine, more or less. By the way, this is purely my opinion, I don't have this scientifically based. So that's pretty much all I gathered so far. If you're also interested in how your eyes can get damaged and not just random advice from a random stranger, I've made a video about how drawing affects eyesight. If you're interested in any of these topics, I'll make videos about them in the future. You will find them in the Artist's Physical Health playlist. Of course, some of them aren't made yet, which reminds me that I post one video per month on the first day of the month. Don't forget to check out this guy's video, follow me on Instagram if you want to see my art, and happy holidays guys, and good night!